Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. As you can see, I have been putting the finishing touches to the barn from the last episode. I still have a little bit of cobblestone left to add along the bottom row here, but unfortunately, this is the last piece of cobblestone I possess. At present, that is the only one I've got left in the entirety of my inventory. My chests are completely dry of cobblestone, and I still need to adjust bits and pieces of the roof here. But I've made this lovely kind of fence work over the top there, kind of keeps the hayloft nice and open, because this is going to be a hayloft eventually. I've even installed a ladder and a trapdoor, although looking at it now, I can see that the trapdoor is at kind of an odd angle, so maybe we want to do something about that. Let me go and grab another ladder in a second, because yeah, we could maybe put some slabs either side like that, and then put this on there, and actually that will work pretty well, because ladders with trapdoors at the top, the trapdoor actually still functions kind of as a ladder because it makes it easier to get through the trapdoor in the end. So actually, let's look at it from the bottom. You know, that's not too bad. I think we've actually solved that one pretty quickly. I think we can probably lay that one to rest. There is an Enderman in my barn. Well, we can probably leave him in there as long as we don't look at him directly. He's not going to be an issue. But for the time being, I want to go back to my enchantment table because, as you can see, I've got myself to 30 levels by breeding and killing some of these animals in here, and right now the sheep and cows are all separate in either side, so the sheep can graze on all of the grass over here, and the cows can do their thing in the slightly muddier patch that we created in the last episode. So let's head into the house. We got our 30 levels. I'm going to enchant that Fortune 3 diamond pickaxe that I said I found in the enchantment table last time. And it will still be there because every time you come back to the enchantment table, it doesn't cycle through a new set of enchantments until you've used something in here and you've enchanted it. So let's get that Fortune 3 pickaxe we've always wanted. And again, we're only getting Fortune 3. I continue to be surprised by how the enchantments are working out in this enchantment table, because it seems to only be giving us one enchantment at a time. I promise you that is not the case, but it looks like we're going to have to wait a little while to get a decent enchantment. But we could combine that with our Unbreaking 3 Efficiency 4 pickaxe. But the thing about Fortune is that when you come across a block where you can use Fortune, I feel like it's something that you can take your time with anyway. So when you're finding lots of diamonds and stuff down in the caves, in the cave mines that you're doing, you will probably end up just being able to get the pickaxe out with Fortune on it kind of casually whenever you like, and mining those diamonds at your own pace. It's not like you have to tear through the entire planet with a Fortune 3 pickaxe. It should be fine. So I'm actually going to go and do a little bit of off-camera mining simply because I want some more cobblestone to finish this off, and while I'm getting cobblestone, I may as well be looking for more diamonds, because we have 18 diamonds left in the chest up there, and there is still scope for us using, let me do the maths here quickly, we want 8 for the chest plate, 7 for that one, and 5 for the helmet. So let me think, that's like 20-something, like 22 diamonds. Am I thinking about that right? Or maybe it's just 20, but I've only got 18 right now, so a couple more would be helpful. We only got 18 in there. So I'm going to go and do a little bit of diamond mining. If I can hopefully find some diamonds, that'll be fantastic, and we'll be able to use this little Fortune 3 pickaxe. But if not, at least we'll be able to get enough cobblestone to finish off the roof ridge of the barn here, and then we can carry on with the rest of today's episode. Here we go. Been doing a little bit of strip mining here. Went through the ravine that actually passed below the abandoned mine shaft we discovered a few episodes ago, and I'm going to put my Fortune 3 pickaxe on my hotbar here and mine myself these diamonds, and it looks like we at least got more than usual. Yep, we got 5 diamonds out of 3 diamond blocks there. So once again, Fortune 3 is only going to get you between 1 and 4 diamonds per block, and it's not really guaranteed to get you more than 1 diamond every single time. So in that case, I think we got 3 from one block and we got 1 from the other blocks, but that's still not bad. That's still more diamonds than we would have got otherwise. And let's do a quick dig around here to make sure there aren't any more diamond ores hidden in the walls, because sometimes these veins of diamond can generate diagonally as well, so it's usually important to check around the area to see if there are any diamond ore blocks you have missed. And I'm going to be grabbing some iron as I go here as well, because we'll need iron for a little bit later on in today's episode. And I just ran into something very unusual, which I'm going to try and get to trigger again, so bear with me here while I do a bit of digging around. But we are in, if we press F3, you'll notice on the left-hand side where it says biome underneath all the coordinate data and stuff, we are in a mountains biome, specifically a gravelly mountains, but the mountains part is the thing I want to focus on here. occasionally when you're in mountains, you will come across stone blocks that break immediately, regardless of what kind of pickaxe you're using. And they will break and spawn one of these. Now, these are my least favorite mob in the game. They are called Silverfish. And Silverfish, they'll kind of... The blocks will sort of disappear into a puff of smoke, and as you can see, like, my pickaxe has the efficiency enchantment on it, and it's so efficient that it's actually breaking the blocks instantly. But Silverfish stone will spawn in clusters, and then it will spawn one of these mobs, and more often than not, they will tunnel away into some other stone blocks, but they will actually attack you. They are a hostile mob, and the thing about Silverfish is that whenever you hit them, if you don't kill them in one hit, then they will tend to break other Silverfish mobs out of nearby stone blocks. These occur in extreme hills or mountains and in strongholds, which are the place where you find the portal that takes you to the end. But that right there is a bit of a nuisance because naturally we want to be harvesting stone. It doesn't drop anything from the block when you break a Silverfish block. It just generates a mob, and a mob will come and attack you, and then it will, in theory, if you don't have like a really sharp sword and you can't kill it in one hit, then a bunch of other Silverfish might come out of here, and you might find yourself getting overwhelmed very, very quickly. But luckily for us, that doesn't seem to have been too much of a problem, and ore blocks are still safe to mine. They will only tunnel back into regular, smooth stone blocks and occasionally cobblestone and stone brick, but you won't find them going into andesite or diorite or anything. You won't find them going into coal ore or diamond ore. They won't infest blocks like that. They only end up infesting regular stone-related materials. So we can safely mine the rest of this. I'm using fortune on the coal here as well, so we can get more than one coal per ore block, and that will be very useful as a bit of extra fuel for our torches and for our furnaces and things like that. I'm going to spend a little bit longer down here, and then we'll return to the surface, and today I think we're going to do a bit of exploring. There we go, we'll pop those diamonds in there. 27 diamonds is a nice little stockpile, and as you can see, we've also got a bit of iron and a bit of gold and a lot of redstone. I've been using fortune on the redstone ore blocks as I find them and acquiring a whole lot of redstone dust. Now, as you can see, my storage system is getting a little full of redstone, and I don't want this to take up all of the space in here. So what I'm going to do is put a few of these other blocks away. Let's pop the cobblestone in there really fast. Let's add the gravel. The diorite and so forth goes in this chest up here, like so. And then I'm going to take all of this redstone dust out of here and combine it in a crafting table to get blocks of redstone. And not only are blocks of redstone a compact way of storing redstone dust, and they can actually be broken back down into 9 redstone dust each every time, it will also allow you to power circuits with blocks of redstone. They are actually a power source, although we'll get more into the details of that in future episodes. But I think for now, we'll leave some of this redstone dust separate, but we've got a full stack of blocks of redstone. Now let's grab a little bit of lapis lazuli, let's take it to the enchanting table, and let's see what we get on a bow right now. Punch 2. Okay, Punch is an enchantment which allows you to knock the enemy you're fighting further back. There's also a sword equivalent of that that's called Knockback, but Punch is a decent enchantment, but I'm looking more for enchantments that increase the power of my bow, which, you know, it might be possible to get on this bow, but given our luck with enchantment tables so far, I'm fairly certain we would only get Punch 2, which isn't really worth spending our 30 levels on at the moment. So I wonder maybe if we put an enchanted book in here, what we will get. It would be interesting to see what comes up here. Power 4, there you go. That is an enchantment we could then apply to our bow if we ended up getting another Punch enchantment. There is also an Aqua Affinity book available, which we could put on our helmet to allow us to mine blocks underwater more easily, or there's just a Power 1 as the cheapest enchantment up there. I'm not really interested in any of those right now because Power 4, to be honest, is one of the enchantments that comes up most often for bows. It's the only one that increases the power of a bow, so I'm going to leave that in there for the moment. The next thing I can do is take out the diamonds, and we're going to make the rest of the armor set out of diamonds, because that will definitely provide us with the most durable armor and the toughest armor it is possible to get in the game. So here we go, folks. We're going to make a diamond helmet, To start off with, we're going to make a diamond chest plate, like so, which is definitely the most expensive thing you will ever make out of diamonds, except for maybe diamond blocks if you want to build with them. But this is going to be an 8-piece diamond chest plate, and then 7 pieces of diamond will get us some diamond leggings. And we still have 7 left over, which is perfect. So with our 30 levels, we can now go back to the enchantment table, and let's see what we get on these. Fire protection 3, that's not the best. Unbreaking 3, we're not guaranteed protection, but unbreaking is always useful to have. And then on a diamond helmet, aqua affinity. That might be worth going after, actually, because it's possible we might end up doing some stuff underwater, and you never know, we might get an enchantment other than aqua affinity on these. I wonder what we should do. I would still rather have protection on a helmet, rather than, risk the potentially getting blast protection or fire protection or something like that. I think Unbreaking 3 is a pretty good shot for the leggings. Let's give that a try, and we just got Unbreaking 3. Par for the course at this stage, but then that cycled the enchantments for our other things, so that one's still getting aqua affinity, good to know, and that one there is getting thorns. Thorns is another enchantment I haven't really covered yet, so I'll briefly cover it here. Basically what Thorns does is it allows you to deal some damage back to anything that's attacking you kind of automatically. So if anything hits you, it takes damage for attacking you. And sometimes that can be very useful. Sometimes if you want to control how much damage something is taking, it can be a little bit awkward. So again, I might bypass Thorns for now and only add it to my armor if I really want to later on. But we've got some Unbreaking diamond leggings. I think those will already provide a little bit more armor power than the iron leggings we're currently using. See, this has 5 armor and protection 1. These have 6 armor and some extra armor toughness to them, which is a bonus that is only available on diamond armor. Not to mention that the durability of these leggings will last longer than iron leggings in the first place, but now with Unbreaking 3, it will last about 3 times as long. So I'm going to put these iron leggings away in here with my old suit of armor. I think those will go in there just fine. I might leave the other diamond armor in here for now, though, because I would rather work with these enchanted ones and not waste the durability on my diamond armor until I've got enchantments like protection or unbreaking on it, and it's going to be worth using. Let's take a look at our possible bow enchantments now. There you go. Power 4 has come up in the table, and I'll quickly take a look at what's available for books as well. Efficiency, Smite 2, Fire Protection 3. Nothing too special, so the bow is definitely going to be the next thing we want to enchant here. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, it might be worth enchanting the bow before we end up going exploring. So I might hop into the nether really quickly, kill a few more blazes like we were doing in previous episodes, and then we can get enough experience to enchant the bow before we head out exploring today. Exciting news! On coming back from the nether, it was actually really dark outside, so I went into the house and I slept. There are a couple of things hanging out in the barn afterwards, because of course sunlight wasn't getting down here, so the undead mobs weren't burning in the sun the way they normally do. There was a skeleton and a zombie in here, as you can see. Had a bit of a fight with the skeleton, a few arrows flying, and the zombie dropped a carrot. Now, this is one of the rare drops that I mentioned in previous episodes where we were talking about fighting mobs. Occasionally, a zombie will drop a carrot or a potato. And this is very rare, but for the most part, they are really, really useful for starting new crop farms, because when we go over here and plant this carrot, we'll actually, much like we do with the wheat seeds, be able to harvest more carrots once they are fully grown. So I'm going to plot out another little farm here. We're going to start growing carrots. We're going to break the bones down into bone meal so that we can grow those a little bit quicker. And now if I break these, it will actually give me a whole bunch more carrots, like so. Now we have 4 carrots that we can plant perfectly in the 4 things I already laid out, the 4 little farmland plots, like so. And now I get to show you something even more special, because now we have a Fortune 3 tool. Fortune will actually give you more crops, as well as giving you more ore. So for example, we got 4 carrots out of that one. Let's break it with a Fortune pickaxe and see. Well, that's not very well illustrated my point, has it? It is still a chance, much like getting more diamonds out of a diamond block. It is still only a chance to get more things. So let's see if we end up getting a few more carrots out of this. There we go, we got 3 more. Now, the first time around, we got 4 out of 1 plot, and I'll promise you that is the upper limit of what you can get normally. But if you're using a fortune tool, you are more often guaranteed to get more drops out of fully grown crops. Especially with wheat seeds, you will get an absolute ton of seeds out of it afterwards. So just by harvesting like a few spaces here, we got 16 wheat seeds, which is much more than we'd normally get. So if you want to populate a farm really, really quickly with some fresh crops, let's move the flowers here so that we can hoe a couple more spaces and allow ourselves to grow the rest of these carrots. There you go. Fortune tools are actually really useful for that. The advantage of this is that when you're breaking crops with fortune, like so, it does not decrease the durability of your tool, meaning you can get a whole bunch of seeds and a whole bunch of crops without actually sacrificing your pickaxe durability whatsoever. That's just a smart little tip for you, something that you can bear in mind. So let's take the mutton out of here. Let's cook up some iron, like so. 3 bits of coal won't hurt, and we'll probably put a little bit more coal in here as fuel. Now, I'm storing the blaze rods in here as fuel, and I need to correct something that I mentioned in a previous episode because some people were kind enough to point this out to me in the comments. Blaze rods will cook 12 items at a time. They won't cook, I think I said 20 at the time. I've always thought it was 20 for some reason, but they will actually cook 12 items before you burn through a full blaze rod and you have to use another one. So they are slightly more efficient than coal. Coal will only do 8, blaze rods will do 12. Kelp blocks are the things that do 20, but I wasn't confusing those. I just genuinely thought for the longest time that blaze rods were the ones that did 20. So that's nothing to worry about. We've got plenty of blaze rods. We could use them as fuel all day if we wanted to, but that's just something to keep in mind. A bit of a correction from a previous episode there. So let's put the gold items away. I've got some more cobblestone slabs. Let's head down and finish off the roof of the barn, and then let's enchant our bow, and we'll do some exploring. There we go, I think we're done with that. There's a nice 3 slab thick ridge along the edges of the barn there, and if I had to do one thing differently about this build, I probably would have started it a couple of blocks over there to the right because it's interfering with the line of the house here. I had to take out one of the supporting stairs in order to get the roof line of this symmetrical, but there you go. It's a bit of trial and error when you're building this stuff in Minecraft. I didn't know how big this barn was going to be when I started building, so you can always live and learn with this kind of stuff. Let's head up in here and let's enchant our bow and see if for once we get anything other than just the power 3 enchant. Let's hop into the enchanting table here, pop some lapis in there, and unbreaking 3 as well. Okay, that's fantastic. That's actually really what we wanted. Now, I've only got 15 arrows on me right now. I think we need to prepare a little bit more for that, so let's take a quick look around here to see if we have any flint. Fantastic stuff. We do have some flint. Now, the last ingredient for this is going to be feathers, and I don't think we have any feathers from our chickens down here. But you know what? I'm a little tired of having these chickens around the house for the moment. I'm going to kill a couple of them just so we get a couple of feathers that we can use. Sorry, folks. We've got 3 feathers. That'll do for now. And each time they lay an egg, there's a chance that we might get another chicken back from that. So I've been throwing them on the floor occasionally when I get them, collecting a few in this chest, and we might be able to repopulate the chickens nice and easily here. There we go, we got 1, and it looks like we're just getting the 1, but like I said, we'll be able to repopulate chickens anytime we want to. We can also breed them with seeds, that kind of thing. If we want a guaranteed chicken, that's how you do it. Now, let's go into the crafting table here, and let's put some feathers, some sticks, and some flint in a line like so to make arrows. And this makes 4 arrows at a time, meaning we will get 12 out of the 3 flint and 3 feathers that we had. And working with 27 arrows instead of 15 is going to be a lot nicer. So let's pop the cobblestone slabs back in here. I'll probably leave the raw food in this chest here, like the mob drops chest. I think we have a little bit more cooked food down here in this chest. Yes, we got 64 steak. Fantastic. So we're going to do a bit of exploring today, and I want to show you guys how to navigate in Minecraft without getting too lost. So we need to start off by building a compass. We're going to do that using 4 iron ingots and 1 redstone dust. In a crafting table, you need a 3x3 for this. You can put iron all the way around like that, and a redstone dust in the middle, and that helps you create a compass. Now, a compass in Minecraft does not point north. That is the first thing that you need to get your head around, because compasses in Minecraft actually point towards your spawn point. And that's something that's very important to remember. The sun is going down a little bit, so we'll make this quick. If we press F3 now, you'll notice that I'm facing north and the compass is pointing north. That's fantastic. That's more or less what we want. But as I walk in this direction, you will notice the compass starts to swing around when we get further away from our spawn point. And if you'll remember, we did spawn around here in the grasslands the first time we loaded up this world. So our spawn point is actually, generally speaking, around here. Like, it's actually right here, or maybe a couple of blocks over to the side. And that's quite important. Now, that is the world spawn point, not the spawn point we have set by sleeping in a bed. But if you build your starter house quite close to the original point where you spawn in for the first time in the world, then that will actually allow you to navigate home very easily by using one of these compasses. Now, if you haven't built near the spawn point, if you actually explored further afield before you set up your first base, there is another way of navigating in Minecraft which will be very, very useful, and that is to create a map. We can put a compass in the middle of the crafting grid here, surround it using paper that we've gotten from our sugarcane farm, and you will get yourself an empty map. And the map right now will not show you any kind of navigational data, but if we go outside, we don't have to go outside, but I'm going to do that for sake of example here. We're going to go outside, we're going to walk out in front of our house, and we're going to right-click with the empty map in our hand. And that will display a map of the surrounding area. As you can see, the sort of brown square in front of us is our house. The grey square just south of that is the barn. And the marker that's there that's kind of rotating around as we rotate demonstrates where the player is. So this is actually a really neat thing to have in Minecraft. This will allow you to navigate around at least the immediate area. If you have a map in your hand, you can even swap hands with it like so, or hold it in both hands to get an even bigger view by taking whatever's in your offhand out of it. So I've taken my shield off now, and you can see it's displaying a massive picture of the local area, which is actually very pretty. We've got quite a nice little varied bit of terrain here. A lake, a river, some mountains, and a nice little town developing here. Fantastic stuff. So the thing about maps is that they will always show the indicator for where the player is, regardless of whether or not you are on the map. So if I continue to walk north here, you'll notice that the indicator no longer has a point showing you which direction we're facing. It's just turned into a white blob. But that white blob now indicates that we are off the north edge of the map. As I navigate a little bit further this way, if we go west, you'll find that the blob kind of follows that along the top line of the map until it's off the top left corner. And as you can see, when we walk back into the area of the map, our position indicator returns, showing us which way we're facing and exactly our position. Now, it's worth noting that you can also navigate in Java Edition using the F3 debug information. So right there on the left-hand side, it's got our coordinates. If we take a note of those coordinates, maybe even take a screenshot using the F2 button, you're always going to be able to return to this location later. Likewise, on the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, it is possible to have your coordinates displayed in the top right corner, although not playing the Bedrock edition, I'm not sure exactly how that works, so that may be something you have to do a little bit of research on. And to my recollection, when I used to play the console versions of Minecraft, coordinates would be displayed at the top of maps, and you would get a map as soon as you spawned into the game. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you want to remember where to come back to, just make sure you take a note of your coordinates, and you should be able to get back there no problem. So I think it's time to explore our world a little bit more. I'm going to head north, roughly north at least, of our extreme hills biome here, and we're going to see what else is out there. I know we've been to a swamp before in this direction, so I might go through the swamp and see what is on the other side. It's also worth getting used to navigating using landmarks in Minecraft, because that will save your bacon if you don't have a map on you, or if you don't have a compass, and if you don't want to be a little bit cheaty by using the F3 coordinate screen. Is that a pink sheep? Oh my goodness me, that's incredible. It's funny, normally sheep only spawn in a variety of colors. They're usually the grayscale colors. They can be white, light gray, dark gray, or black. Occasionally you'll get a brown sheep, and even more rarely you find a pink sheep. That's quite special, and I promise I've not gone and dyed this off camera or anything like that. This sheep is a naturally spawned pink one. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. One of the things that's nice to do when you're walking around a Minecraft world is just get the occasional screenshot of places you've been. It's this one seems to be hiding in the tall grass to get away from us. It's not camouflaging you very much there, buddy, but it's nice to just take screenshots of places where you've been, especially if you want to put the coordinates on screen and remember where that place is, because sometimes it's very easy to forget with how big Minecraft worlds are what you can find out there and how to get back to it from the base that you set off from originally. So I can put the map away for now as well. I don't need to refer to that right away. I think that will be absolutely fine, but let's head across this swampland and see what's on the other side. I think it might also be worth making sure we bring some logs with us, or cutting down a swamp tree here. We can always grow another one in its place if we want to, but turning this into a boat will be super useful. Let's make a crafting table really fast. Let's pop down that. Let's make a quick boat, and then navigating using a boat in these waterlogged areas is going to be so much easier. And it looks like this swamp leads directly to the ocean. You can see the water transitioning, changing color there, and we have a nice wide ocean ahead of us. There are natural fish swimming around, there are squid over there, which now only spawn in oceans and rivers, you might remember, and there are even some dolphins nearby. Amazing stuff. It's fantastic to get out of the ocean and explore a little bit more of this world, but we don't want to stray too far, I think. The ocean can lead us to a completely separate landmass. I do want to explore around the edges here and see what else we can find. There's some nice oak forests around here, some mixed oak and birch forest. Oh, what is that on the horizon? I think I see the mast of a shipwreck. Fantastic stuff. So now we can actually talk about some of the newer features that have been added into Minecraft as of the update Aquatic version 1.13, including the dolphins and turtles that we're now seeing out here in the ocean. There are shipwrecks that will be offshore in ocean biomes and occasionally washed up onshore as though they've run aground in these biomes, and shipwrecks are often the site of some fantastic treasure that you can find by looting the chests you will find inside one of these. So let's hop down into this and make sure that you keep an eye on the oxygen meter when you're going underwater, because we will run out of breath very, very quickly and we don't have any enchantments to help us with that. So luckily this one is nice and shallow, so we can make our way to the surface every now and again. It might be worth destroying a couple of blocks down here just so we can make our way into the cabin, open up this chest, and wow, look at that. We have a bunch of emeralds in here. We have some iron ingots and some iron nuggets, which can be converted back into ingots if we want to use those for anything. Perfect. We have a 10 emeralds, which is enough to even make an emerald block if we want to. That's brilliant stuff. Now it's time to take a big deep breath and dive down into the hold, because down here you will find even more treasure in this chest here. Looks like we've got some potatoes and some carrots, wonderful stuff that will go well to expand our crop farm. There's even a little bit of enchanted gear. Let's take the mending leather pants from this chest, because talking about mending will be super fun before we get ourselves some books for it. But let's head in this direction as well, because behind this rock slide that seems to have gotten into the cabin here, there might actually be a doorway. Fantastic. So we can recover our breath in here if we want to. I don't think I can place a torch on the wall in here at all, so it's going to be a little bit dark for you guys. But if you break into this cabin underneath here at the back, you'll find that it's a little bit flooded, but we can open this chest here. The contents might take a second or two to load because these have buried treasure maps in them, and these are going to be very useful. Let's take the feathers so we can make some more arrows, and let's grab that buried treasure map and let's quickly get back into the safe haven of this little cubby here where we can end up recovering our oxygen. Now let's take a look at this treasure map and see what we have. Oh, okay, right. This is going to plot out a map of a nearby location where we might be able to dive for some buried treasure. Let's make our way out of here, and it looks like it's getting dark right now. I've purposefully not brought a bed with me this time around because I feel like we rely on having beds to sleep a little bit too much, and it might be worth actually seeing if we can hold our own against some of the monsters that are out here. So come at me, monsters. I'm ready for you. In fact, if there are drowns here throwing tridents, I would probably die quite quickly. So maybe I don't need to be quite so bombastic with what I'm asking them to do. But you'll notice that the maps here for buried treasure work quite similarly to the maps that we had in our first little demonstration of maps here. So you'll notice there is an indicator on the bottom corner. Let's quickly take the shield out of there against my better judgment, just so we can see this in a larger view. You'll notice that the player indicator is there on the bottom edge of the screen. So we are south of the location we want to be traveling. And if the sun was in the sky or if the moon was rising, which I can't see right now, which is kind of a surprise, but maybe it's behind the hills in one of these directions, or maybe it's behind the mast. There it is. Okay, there we go. So the sun and moon in Minecraft rise in the east and set in the west, much like happens in real life. So you can navigate this way if you're not using the F3 screen to figure out which direction you're facing. So if this is east, then that is going to be north, which means that is south in that direction. So we want to be traveling this way in order to find this buried treasure. You see the X on the map there? That's going to lead to the buried treasure itself. And once we get onto the map, it will start to display a little bit more like this map, where it will actually show us the terrain we're looking at, right? So let's pop our boat down. Where did our boat go? Ah, it's over there. Fantastic. And let's sail north of here, and let's see what we can find. So we've just come onto the bottom edge of the map right there, and it looks like this treasure might actually be buried on land, which is quite unusual. The brown sort of striped areas of the map there represent water, and the pale areas represent land. So this treasure might be buried quite far inland, which is unusual. Normally for these treasures, they tend to get buried in quite waterlogged areas. They'll tend to be on beaches and sometimes even under the ocean, sort of just slightly offshore. So it's going to be interesting to find this. Let's see if we can make our way down the river on this side, and we should be coming onto the map there. Yes, there we go. We're going upriver, folks. Isn't this exciting? Let's see if we can find our way to that treasure. Yep, it looks like if we swim around the outside, or if we row around the outside, rather. Oh, this turtle's getting in our way. Sorry, Mr. Turtle. Didn't mean to barge into your home there. Let's... Oh, wow. Okay, well, we're going to have to... Whoa! Okay, there's a trident being flung at us. We're going to have to make a very hasty escape here, folks, because it looks like there is a drowned ruin over there. We'll need to be extra careful that we don't run afoul of that. It looks like this is leading us to a little lagoon over there. Brilliant stuff. Wow. Oh, good. Okay, right. We should be able to make land in just a second. And you know what? I'm going to do a little bit of fighting at this point. I think it's probably worth us getting ashore and fighting some stuff. We got some treasure now. We need to fight for it. Okay, folks, let's take on these zombies. Luckily, when they get into water, zombies and skeletons move a little bit more slowly, and they will even start to sink. And zombies, if they sink, may turn into drowned zombies. So that is something we need to be sort of aware of. There we go. I tricked the skeleton into fighting that zombie. Fantastic. Let's get the shield back on the bar. But I think we are doing pretty well here. There we go. Not exactly the most face-to-face, up-close way of fighting. But I think we can get the drop on this skeleton over here. Yes, we did it. Fantastic. We can block with the shield and take him out nice and easily. Oh, hello. There's a creeper here as well. Need to back off from this guy. It's also worth noticing that if you're in water and a creeper explodes, it does no damage to the environment. So if you want to, it will still damage you, but the blast will be protected from the rest of the environment. So if you want to avoid making giant holes in the scenery, then it's often best to try and get a creeper into water if you think it's about to explode. But definitely best to swipe at it with a sword, get your gunpowder drops and so forth anyway. And I think I might throw a couple of items out of my inventory really quickly because we're getting a little bit full here. Let's get rid of the granite and andesite. Some of those materials we won't really need too much of. And let's take a closer look at the map now that we've secured the area a little bit. Let's put some torches down, make sure that nothing else is going to spawn around here. So it looks like... Hello, chickens. It looks like the buried treasure is going to be somewhere around here. Let's get the shield off the bar here so we can take a better look at the map. Nope, it looks like we're headed in this direction, maybe on this sandbar over here. You will usually find that these buried treasure chests are underneath sand or gravel, and in this case, I think we have come across it right around here. So now we've got an efficiency shovel. It's going to be nice and easy to remove a bunch of the sand here. The moon is going down. The sun will be coming up soon. I don't think we need to worry too much more about monster attacks. Let's do a bit of digging around here. Efficiency shovel will absolutely tear through the sand around here, and we're looking for a buried treasure chest. It usually takes you a little while digging around in an area because either the crosses on the map are not super exact, or it's kind of difficult to see when you're standing directly over the top of one of them. So we'll collect the sand as we go where we can, but oh, look, there it is. Fantastic. It looks like we found the treasure chest without even having to dive down too much. Well, that was lucky, folks. That was a bit of a stroke of luck there. Let's see what we get inside this chest, shall we? Drum roll, please. Dun da da da. Oh my days, look at that. We have so many gold bars, a little bit of iron, 2 diamonds, and a heart of the sea, as well as, a little bit of food. That's very cool, and some prismarine crystals as well. Amazing stuff. So glad we managed to find a buried treasure chest that quickly. Fantastic. So let me put away some of the stuff that we've got in here. We can probably put a crafting table and an oak sapling in here in exchange for the more valuable stuff, like the iron. I think I took some iron out of my inventory. I think we only had 9 iron ingots in there. Let's take the diamonds, let's take the gold, and of course, let's bring with us this wonderful treasure, the Heart of the Sea. Hearts of the Sea can only be found in treasure chests like these, and they are responsible for making conduits, which are a very important item for later on in the game if you want to be doing stuff underwater. But I'll let you guys look up what conduits are yourselves because we're not going to delve into that in this particular episode. I've already got a stack of sand just from gathering up all of this stuff over here. Wow. So that's how to find a treasure chest, folks. This buried treasure map came in very handy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, but I'm going to call it there. I think we will make our way back to the settlement off camera. Remember, you can always just switch maps like so. Take a look at this map, find ourselves on the... Oh, our marker has disappeared. Oh dear. Well, at least we know that we are headed south again. I wonder why that's happened. That's confusing. Maybe if I throw it on the ground and pick it up again, will my player marker show up then? It won't. Okay, we're off the edge of the map, folks. Ignore my advice from earlier in the episode. It looks like we might have a little bit more trouble getting home than I thought. But we were through the swamp, and we were on the other side. We've come around here into this little bay. And most importantly, we know the coordinates of our base. I included them earlier on in the episode, so if we need to get home, it should be nice and simple to do that. But, there was me expecting that we could navigate back home that way. Uh-oh. Well, this has been a little bit of how to get lost in Minecraft, and hopefully how to find yourself again. Maybe the compass would have been a better solution, ultimately, at the end of the day. But here we are, on this sandbar, wrapping up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching the Minecraft Survival Guide. My name has been Pixlriffs, and it turns out I don't know everything. Leave a like on the episode if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.